Hey, what's up YouTube? Balder here, and I am playing Combat Air Patrol 2. This is a game that I didn't even notice was coming out, and I've never heard of the Combat Air Patrol series before. In fact, I don't even really know what it's about. Apparently, from what I get, this is actually a sequel to an old 1990s game, from which I have absolutely no clue of how it acts, how it works, or what the gameplay was like. So I'm kind of left in the dust in terms of that. But basically, this is a very, very, very early release, and this is a simulator, or at least I think it's a simulator of the Harrier. Now, the Harrier is an interesting plane because, from what I gather, it is one of those planes that should be in a simulator. I mean, it's old enough to the point where it's not really classified or top secret. I mean, let's be honest with that. And not only that, but it's the hover jet. I mean, what else? Yes, yes, yes. The graphics are a little buggy, I know. But seriously, what else would be more perfect for a flight simulator aside from the F-14? And thankfully, the Leatherneck is doing that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this out, and I'm going to see what it's going to be like. I'm just going to do a basic flight. I mean, nothing too big, nothing too small. Just to see how realistic it is, and I would give my critique on what needs to be improved. Because I can guarantee you that this game isn't perfect, so I might be a little bit nitpicky if it's good. Just saying. Also, another thing that I should mention, this Saturday and Sunday, I am going to be at Flight SimCon in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm announcing this now because this is about the only time I'll be able to announce it. Unfortunately, I live a pretty busy life, and it was an absolute miracle for me to get the days off in order to go to this convention. But I will be going there. I'm not going to be on the stage or anything. In fact, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be wandering around with a camera, chatting up with a few fans. If any of you are interested in talking to me, then definitely head out there as well. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, going to be socializing a lot with the flight sim developers, trying to get more contacts and whatnot, and that'll be great. But enough of my rambling. What I'm going to do is that I think I got the controls all figured out, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick start. Doesn't look like there's a free flight option, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go with landing. I mean, that would make sense, right? Shipboard vertical landing. Alright, let's go with that. Sounds good to me. Now, I'm not going to be landing. I'll do carrier landing later. Alright, so here we are. We're in the Harrier. I must admit, the details of the cockpit are pretty good. Say what you want about the graphics of the game. You'll not hear me disagree on that one. Okay, so far so good. I was kind of worried that this was going to be more arcadey because with games like these, I mean, we have several so-called simulators, quote-unquote, that are anything but. They're pretty much games that are designed to be like Ace Combat, and then they fail miserably. However, I will go so far as to say that this is certainly not perfect, because I am pulling the stick back all the way, and so far I am not having any type of angle of attack problems. I am not stalling, so not the most realistic. However, there is something that I can expect. It does feel like Harrier controls. I mean, The best way to put it is that the Harrier is not really a dogfighter, so the idea that your controls are going to be sluggish, that actually does make quite a bit of sense. So, if this were a... Whoa! Okay. The controls are a little bit floaty, which may or may not be a bad thing. But, let's go ahead and spin. Let go of the controller, and yeah. It feels a little floaty, feels a little weird. From what I can tell right now, aside from the very realistic cockpit look, it definitely isn't the most realistic type of controls. Oh hey, my flaps were in. By the way, just as a little bit of a note for the devs, if you're listening, I do believe that zooming in to first person is actually copyrighted by Sega. I don't know if that's true or not, but you might want to talk to your lawyers about that. Because if you've ever noticed a racing game, you will see your car zoom out. But when you get into first person, then all of a sudden it immediately transports you there. It never, ever, ever zooms you into first person. This game does, and I don't know if they're breaking any copyright or anything like that, but, you know, just keep that in mind. Let's see. Can I fire? Ooh, yes I can. Those are just bombs, though, I think. Yes. So, I think I know what I'm gonna do. Let's do some weapons deployment tests, see if those are accurate in any way, shape, or form. Now, what's interesting, though, is that I can tell you right now that this is not, and I repeat, this is not as unrealistic as, say, Ace Combat, from what I can tell. I mean, Ace Combat really does scratch the bottom of the barrel when it comes to flight gameplay. The only thing that really sucks even more than Ace Combat, at least in my opinion, sorry if you don't like it, but the thing that really sucks compared to Ace Combat seems to be, what was it, Tom Clancy's Hawks. Sorry, I am not a fan of the arcade crap. It just doesn't work for me. But I am gonna drop these bombs. Alright, well, I just committed genocide, so... bravo on me. And look, the bombs aren't even there. How about that? Okay, looks good to me. Shut up, bitchin' Betty. The men are fighting. Whoa. Okay then. Looks terrible. I know it's unfinished. I guess I should mention that. It is unfinished, but I'll give you my opinion on it so far. My first impressions opinion. Is that a... What the hell is that? Is that an actual landmark? Probably is not. Whoa. Alright, well... That was kind of interesting. Here's what I think. From what I can tell, it seems like it's very unfinished. If that makes any sense, and... Holy shit, that sounds like freaking Vader. That creeps me out. Ugh. Alright, there we go. Alright, so... From what I gathered so far, it does seem to be dancing between the line of realistic and arcade. However, I can tell you right now that the flight controls are, unless that thing was a miraculous turner, kind of unrealistic. So if the developers are taking notes on this, there are a few things that I should say about that. For one, when it comes to the turn radius of an aircraft or the turning capabilities of an aircraft, there is this thing called, well, the angle of attack. The thing about fighter jets, or any airplane, is that if you pull the stick all the way back, then you're guaranteed to hit the angle of attack sooner or later. That's basically how it goes. And somebody just got owned. Needless to say, that's my biggest gripe. I haven't tried it in combat, but if it were true to the real plane, it would probably suck in combat. From what I can tell from previews and whatnot, it looks like this plane is capable of carrying AMRAAMs, and I noticed that there is a radar display on the left MFD. So that's something that I'd like to try out. In fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try a dogfight. Whoa, okay. And how do I switch to weapons? They're on or off. Let's go ahead and do that. Weapon select. Alright, now let's try that. Doesn't seem like anything is clickable. But that's fine. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to intercept these guys. They really aren't trying to hide the fact that they're there. It's a MiG-21. You can't dogfight against a MiG-21. You know you are in trouble. This Especially when these said things are on your tail. Luckily for me, I do have some backup, which is kind of a godsend. Jeez, I can't really turn into them. Did one of them just crash? Okay. I don't know if that actually... Honestly, I could go for some Kenny Loggins music right about now. I seem to have lost sight of the enemy. I have no visual. But I'll be honest, dogfighting feels kind of weird. So... I'm not exactly sure what to say about that. Granted, I will say that that dogfight I had was pretty challenging, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to restart. Shot. Oh, come on. Let's see, are you in my sights now? Yes, but so will his buddies, who are going to fucking rape me, but... Well, thank you, backup. Might have been the first time since World War II that Flak has shot down an airplane. Let's see. If anything, this is just proof that I need to get back into dogfighting and air combat. I need to get back to the... What the fuck? The thing just stalled. The thing just froze in mid-air. What the hell? Oh jeez. This is so stupid. I love it. Ah. How do I switch between air to air and air to ground? Hang on. It's not that. It is good mode, air to air. Alright, now I am going to try this one more time. See how this works. What what the fuck?
Sniper X, locked on. Sniper X, Fox 3.
Oh, much better! Oh, and that is a splash!
Sniper X, locked on. Sniper X, Fox 3. Sniper X, locked on. Sniper X, Fox 3. Sniper X, locked on. Sniper X, Fox 3.
And why these things are still up, I don't know. But the lock-on mechanism, I must admit, is kind of,
Sniper X, locked on. Sniper X, locked on.
it is kind of arcadey, but... I do see that there's potential. Now, I'm going to go back to the main menu and give you my opinion on that. Now, the thing about air-to-air combat is that it does kind of remind me of the FA-18 Hornet by GraphSim. That was actually one of the first really successful flight simulators. And from what I gathered is that it had the same type of radar controls where it simplified the radars, so you just toggled instead of slewing. Now, that is not what I would call ideal. I think that if you have a cursor that allows you to track your that allows you to select your radar signature, then that would probably be a lot better. If that's something you can implement, then I would definitely do that. The point I'm trying to get is that, in the end, this Combat Air Patrol 2 seems to have a lot of potential. Don't get me wrong, it really seems like it does. However, it is way too arcadey to be taken seriously, and if it's arcadey, then it's nothing more than Ace Combat with just one airplane. Granted, Ace Combat is still a lot more unrealistic, but you kind of get where I'm coming from. Now, what I would recommend is that you try to up the realism a bit. If you try to find a comfort zone between the casual simmer and the hardcore simmer, you're not going to find it. I'd say go all out, because when you appeal to the more hardcore simulator community, then what you're going to do is that you're going to develop a community. You're going to have a strong following. and your product will be taken a lot more seriously. That's basically my 2 cents about that. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about Combat Air Patrol 2. I'll see what it would be like when they upgrade this, when they update it, when it's not as buggy. The bugs don't really bother me because I understand that they're still getting all the bugs out. But for the most part, I'll leave it at that. Patch it up, but while you patch it up, make it more realistic, please. Anyway, that should be it for today. So, with that said, like and favorite this video and subscribe. You guys have a nice day.